Right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk, and we are back. I am back, but Adil's missing this week, and it seems like every week there is someone missing. We can never get the three of us together.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute. It's actually been a minute since we've all been in it together.
Goodness, good. Is Cam? There's some reports or sources telling me that Adil might be missing due to the performance away at St James's Park.
Another United loss. Another United loss. Another Adil.
Can we get some confirmation from somewhere, maybe?
Yeah.
But
Jeffrey's just no joking.
It's been a great weekend of football, right? Yeah, plenty of goals, good football.
Loads of goals, man. I think this one been one of the best weekends in terms of Premier League, just score lines.
Definitely. Considering obviously everyone played in Champions League and stuff, so I think that probably played his part as well, right? A lot of teams probably fatigued and tired, so it gave the opposition a bit more chance. But let's get going. Let's start with Man City versus Tottenham Hotspur, or Man City's bogey team. Let's just say,
Man City versus bogey. That's what we should call
Man City's bogey team. But I mean, it's very interesting, right? 3-3, great result for Spurs, considering the fact that they're playing with 4 fullbacks in defense. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, what did you make of the overall game?
I mean, it's quite similar to what I said last week. You know, it's always sweet when Spurs aren't on top, you know, when they're not winning. But you can't fault their style of play at the moment. They are, regardless of playing fullbacks at centre back, which is actually obviously affecting them defensively. Their style of play is so fluid at the moment. Going forward, they're dangerous to any team, you know. And City, even last season when Spurs weren't at top, they couldn't deal with them. And this season, although they got the goals to kind of even up the game, you know, you could see that Spurs were going par for par, you know, bar for bar. You know, it was one of those where Spurs could have easily won the game. So, you know, big credit to Spurs.
Yeah, other thing is though, I think it could have gone the other way as well, because if you look at some of the chances that City had,
Haaland missed a sitter.
Yeah, two or three.
Two actually.
City could have easily gone like 3-4 up. Obviously, Tottenham get the first goal, but what I'm saying is like 4-1 or something, whatever, because they did have some great chance because of, well, pretty much Spurs' own doing, right? Because of the way they play with regards to the keeping the from the goalkeeper and trying to be brave.
Yeah.
But Emerson Royal, I felt like he kept giving the ball away in key positions, and that's what was costing them and gave City a lot of chances to get good clear chances where Haaland usually puts them away, but not today.
Yeah, I think you can see this still isn't a finished article with Spurs. You know what I mean? There's, soon as they've had injuries, ideally you'd want centre backs to come in for centre back. You want the right type of fullbacks to be playing in those positions, the right type of backups in those positions. So, you know, I wouldn't say, you know, Spurs would have lost that game or drawn that game should they have had their full team. But equally, like you said, City did have the better chances, but that's football. You know, you're not going to finish every chance you get for a goal.
Yeah, you know a good one. So this is the, I think, first time where Haaland had 5 shots and didn't get one on target or something like that. Some crazy stat like that.
Yeah. So I mean, throughout the season, I mean, it's normal for any striker to miss big chances. We've seen Haaland miss big chances, of course. But what makes him one of the best is he will score. You know, and that's all it is, isn't it? So big games like this, he still scored, and you can't take that away from him. But you could also say there's 2 other big chances you could have scored. Maybe you got a hat-trick today. So
yeah, no, definitely.
But again, it's football. Also, you can't finish everything.
Yeah. Also, another one. I think he's got the highest clear-cut chances misses of anyone. I think at 16. So he's 14 goals at the moment, and he's missed 16 clear-cut chances. Could you imagine what he's?
But I mean, the amount City produce in front of goal, well, I mean, they're creatively monsters. Do you know what I mean? So,
of course.
Again, he's not a robot. So missing 16 clear-cut chances, sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. So it's again, he's a beast at missing, I guess, but he's a beast at scoring.
yeah. But let's get into the details of the game. I mean, what did you make of City's defending? I mean, obviously we understand from a Spurs perspective where their defending is poor, but I mean, City conceded 4 against, I think, Chelsea was now conceding 3 against Spurs. In the last, I think, 3 games or 4 games, they conceded 10. Clearly, that's not good enough, conceding too many goals.
There's obviously a disconnect between the defense and the central midfield this year. I think there's bigger gaps opening up. I don't know if they're trying to be a bit ambitious and go forward. They're playing with less pragmatism. You can see there's a lot more space opening up, you know, because again, City are a team that won't always alter the play style too much. They do have a system in which they play. But yeah, maybe it's certain players not performing as well as last year. But you could also equate it to maybe it's clear there's been some tactical tweaks with Doku coming in and missing out on certain players who've left in the summer, that the system has changed slightly, and maybe that's what's costing them.
I think I agree with you in the last part with regards to that. Some key players missing. I think that's the biggest point I was thinking about, because usually what City is great at doing is once they go 1-0, 2-1, whatever up, they're very good at keeping that ball and kind of killing any momentum, anything position could build. And they haven't been able to do that recently. It seems like they couldn't control the match tempo or the pace, or even the possession. And obviously gave Tottenham lots of space in the counters. That's been the biggest problem. I mean, they got a game against Aston Villa coming up away, who are the only, or them and Liverpool are the only 2 teams to have 100%, I think, record at their home.
Not to lose yet. We have not lost at home yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously they got Rodri missing for that game because he picked up a yellow card.
Yeah. Again, I know Rodri's a big miss to that City side, and you can see that he is integral to that City side. And Villa is no joke, you know. City won't go there thinking they can win the game. But again, I can believe it will be a tight affair. And I think Spurs is just one of those teams, you know, they're not such a counter-attacking team as they look. They are very good on the ball. They're very good at suffocating teams now as well, playing the ball around, inviting the pressure and playing it out, and then hitting you with their pace. So I think they almost match City in that regard, you know, like we can do what you can do. Maybe not better, but again,
you 100%. You got to credit their bravery, right? They were brave enough to actually go do that to even with City and play that openly and expansive, right? So you got to give it, but also sometimes it just brings to question, right? Obviously, I get it. That's his way of playing and stuff. He maybe got this result, but obviously the last 3, if you look at it, right, he ended up costing him this expansive style. So it brings to question, right? Is that the right method to carry on going with? Because obviously it's not. If you look at it, 4 games, 1 point out of 12.
I guess when you look at it like that, then yeah, it does put into question his methodologies. I don't, like I said to you last week, I don't think he's not doing any defensive work. I just think he is making do with what he has. And I think, again, it's not a finished article. I think Spurs and Spurs fans might have been getting their hopes up with such an early run where they were, you know, just not losing, they were winning games. But I think they know they're not where they want them to be at the moment. You know, they're not title challengers. You know, they might go for a cup here and there. But there's still a lot of work to do. So I think if he is focusing on this first part of just being an attacking team, fluid football, possession-based, counter-attack, you know, being able to utilize all these things that you see from the Spurs team now, I think it's the building blocks into now, all right, let's perfect the defense, let's perfect that midfield and hold it tight and know when to do this, when not to do that. You know, we saw it with Pep after his first season. We saw it with Klopp after his first 2 seasons. Sometimes it takes maybe, let's bring out the football we want to play and then let's bring it back a notch. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely needs the results, but Spurs fans, I think, will appreciate and take the fact that they are playing really good football, and it's only a matter of time until they start winning games again.
I mean, it doesn't get easy. They got London Derby next against West Ham. With regards to City, I mean, is it a cause for concern, the fact that obviously another draw at home? That's 3-3 on the bounce for them.
Yes and no. I think mentally it's tiring with the season that they had previously. You know, we saw last year how drastically Liverpool fell off from almost going for all 4. So City won all three. You know, there might be a drop in maybe expectations from the players unknowingly. I know Pep wouldn't have that. So maybe they just need some situations like this, like they've had in the past, and then they always seem to put a run of games together. Obviously, it's looking more competitive at the top of the league, but we still got a long way to go. So I wouldn't say it's too worrying, but I would say it's a lot more off the pace than they were last year.
No, like that top three, or I mean, you can even say top four, where if you include Aston Villa, right?
Yeah.
Top four is separated by 4 points.
Yeah.
That's one game, because if you look at it, they all have to still play each other. One game where, say, if City played to Arsenal, who are top, they just need to win that game and they're going on top.
So Arsenal beat City, yeah. Now all it takes is a flip of the switch, City win, and the table changes all over again.
Of course. Yeah. So it's crazy. So I mean, if one team out there that can go in a run of like 20 games without losing or even drawing, it's
so yeah, it's not worrying, but I think their fans obviously will be a bit disappointed because they're so.
Yeah, I think there was a slight boo at the end of the game as well. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's almost spoiled because when you're winning so often, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's a positive because
it's a good thing for Arsenal and Liverpool. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying
like, come on, Spurs today.
As a fan, even Arsenal last year, there was probably a time where you just didn't feel like Arsenal would lose. So when you did lose, or when you did draw, a draw felt like a loss. You know, so that just kind of shows what the expectations are as fans, and it's a good thing. It's refreshing as a fan to know that even a draw feels like a loss, because that's how high your expectations are. So yeah, again, that's why I don't think it's worrying. It's just it's not usual for City.
No. Let's move. I mean, wait. Before we move on, there's one kick. What did you make of the decision of I think Hooper it was Haaland gets fouled and then he plays Jack Grealish through on a goal, but he blows it early.
Yeah, that I couldn't understand, because really the advantage was being played, right?
Yeah, see, crazy thing is he played the advantage.
Yeah, and then blew the whistle. Yeah. I really couldn't understand that. I don't know how often refs actually blow the whistle early like that. Yeah, after giving an advantage. I mean, Hooper's an idiot anyway. I mean,
well, apparently he's the Spurs fan anyway. So
yeah, I've seen him with a Spurs.
Make what you want to make. What you want. So yeah, might be helping his team out. Not saying anything. Might get a fine. Might get a fine.
I mean, Grealish isn't the fastest. I don't know how far.
No, but you still have to let the run. He's through on goal, right? It doesn't matter. You have to see the play before you can blow it.
Yeah. I think it was ridiculous for him to blow the.
Yeah, I think it's a stupid.
Should have ended that phase of play at least.
Stupid decision. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on to St. James's Park, where Manchester United played against Newcastle. 1-0 win for Newcastle. Great win. Gordon gets in another goal again.
Another goal. Another goal. He's the first player to score in 3 consecutive games for Newcastle in 10 years, apparently. Yeah. So that's saying something, isn't it?
He's on fire at the moment.
He is. He's on good form. You could say the whole Newcastle team, I think I finally find that balance between Champions League nights and the Premier League. You know, I think they started off a bit slow to the season, but now they're catching speed and they're showing that competitiveness again. So, and you know, they've not had it easy start of the season, but they've still not got it easy. You know, they've not had any easy games, I would say, generally. And yeah, I mean, United, obviously, you never know what type of performance you're going to get, but a 1-0 could have been a 1-0 right there.
But you know what? No, I think you're letting off the hook a bit, because personally speaking, I think they were actually battered. Because I mean, what I don't even know what to make of it. Someone made a list, I think, where there's like 12 or 15 times Rashford wasn't tracking back. There was beef with Martial and Eric Ten Hag in the middle of the pitch because he wasn't pushing. But what I don't get from Eric Ten Hag is the fact that, okay, you're calling out Martial for not doing it, right? You brought him in and you got Højlund on the bench you didn't put on. Why are you not calling out then Rashford? Who was absolutely?
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into those semantics because obviously we don't know what he has and hasn't said.
No. Cam. The thing is, right? Rashford isn't the first game he's doing it.
No, of course we know that, and like I said, I'm not trying to let off United easy. I mean, they were outpowered. They were outstrengthed. You know, Newcastle were clearly the better team, clearly had the better chances. But again, it could have ended in a draw. I mean, United might have seen that game out. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like they managed to stick down their defense to an extent. They managed to kind of hold on, and then they would have even scored. What I'm trying to say is,
no, of course. I get your point.
sometimes you need that from a team.
I get your
And
point.
United lost. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I'm going to be happy about it. But again, Newcastle were dominating that game. So if United managed to get a result out of it, then well done to them. They didn't, so laughs at them. But
Well, I mean, Newcastle overtake United to go obviously fifth on the table, I think. But I mean, great thing to mention, obviously, great performances from I think Maguire. I think Maguire was really good for them, and also from Luke Shaw, who's back.
You wouldn't think it with the amount of hate he's getting online, isn't
it? Yeah.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I think he's been great since.
There was one block he made. I think it was from a Bruno Guimaraes shot or something. Last stage, basically, it'd have been a goal. But Maguire just comes out and jumps on it and blocks it. But so back to my other point, because there's something, because interviewer asked about Rashford and why, obviously, what's he going to do about it? He goes, I will deal with this privately. Now, does that show a bit of favoritism? Because when he was asked the same question about Sancho, he dealt with it differently. So is there a case of a bit of favoritism on players? Is calling out certain players privately? Because if you look at me from a player's perspective, if my manager's treating me different to X, Y, and Z, I'd be pissed off.
I don't know about favoritism. I think it's tacticism. He is being very tactical in how he deals with certain situations. I think he either deals with all situations privately, or he does a Mourinho and calls out every player at every press interview. You can't mix and match. So I think
that's my point. That's where the problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's favoritism. I just think he hasn't got. You know what it is? It's that consistency. The best managers in the world are usually, they have a precedent of how they do things, and that's how they do it. I think he's not got that. And what's happening is, obviously, the theories might be right, where he's just falling out with all the big budget, the big wage players, so he can have a new splash of the cash come next summer. You know what I'm saying? So if the theory is right, then it might be that might be why he's falling out with certain players over others.
So do you think it's by design rather than anything else?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that there's definitely some level of tactics to why he's doing certain things in certain ways, and why certain things come out to the media and some things don't.
I personally think there's just a lot of unrest in the back room.
Definitely
at United, because I mean, how can you keep letting them get away with? I mean, as a manager, surely the basic you expect from players is, when you're on that pitch, you follow the game plan that I set out. You work as hard as you can. Everything else is afterwards. This guy has consistently has been just doing whatever the hell he wants. There's so many times he's just like, he's not even bothered the fact that they're attacking. And
it kind of reminds me of certain players.
It's a joke. It's a joke. No, how you as a manager can do anything, because you know what? This guy just going and doing it. So he either needs to grow up here and drop this guy and make a statement, like Zlatan said, because what it seems like to me, everything is Zlatan said, this club is too big for him. This job is too big for him.
I think he kind of reminds me of certain players you might play with on an 8-a-side or like a 11-side Sunday league, where their only job is I'll run all day long, as long as I'm running forward, but they don't ever want to do any of the running back. Do you know what I mean?
It don't work at elite level, mate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just gives me that type of mentality.
So like you can get away.
I watched the match, and then I watched Match of the Day, and Alan Shearer said there's too many rotten eggs. And they've been saying it for seasons now. Every season, there's more rotten eggs. So
no. It's not more. It's the same egg.
Throw these eggs out there. It's just no. But what I'm saying is, they always bring more in. There's more rotten eggs. It's just the cycle continues. But
long may it continue.
You can blame the owners all you want, but at the end of the day, the owners have given the license to the managers to go into the transfer market, buy certain players, spend the money and sell certain players, which has happened. But people like Rashford, who are still playing week in, week out, regardless of how he performs, regardless of his lack of pressing, Garnacho has to fight his way in to the squad, and he's one of those players that he might not be world class, but at least he's gonna fight for the badge.
But I think it's rubbing off on him as well, because he does a similar thing where he doesn't track. Because if you look at the goal, the goal.
Yeah, but you would though. That's the people around you.
It's Trippier is the one crosses in. Garnacho's nowhere to be seen. So
yeah, no, he leaves his man. But what I'm saying is that is going to happen because you're allowing it with certain players. When you allow your top and best players to get away with it, the other players who are fighting for the spot, if they perform here and there, doing a few little dribbles, making a good few passes and crosses, you could argue because Garnacho got a goal last week, he's got that ego about him right now. So, it probably is rubbing off on the players. It probably is rubbing off.
Do you want to hear another damning verdict or stat or whatever? The last time Manchester United won away at one of the top, I think 8 or 10 side, was when Aubameyang used to be captain at Arsenal. I mean, tells you something. But what it tells me, like like against the lower sides, you can get away with players not running and doing the bits because you got enough quality, and the opposition doesn't have a. But again, the top and side, mate.
Yeah.
Has to work.
I would say I would argue that even most mid-table lower lower league clubs, the quality the Prem has now, you'll get punished.
Well, I mean, United have been winning against the lower side, but it wasn't a pleasing performance. Like obviously they were before the game they were the most informed side in the league, even though performance says otherwise. But
yeah,
in terms of wins, I mean, yeah. It doesn't look any good for them because obviously they got Chelsea next. Doesn't get easy.
They're on and off though, aren't they? It depends on what type of Chelsea.
But they play better against the better opposition. So
fair enough. Yeah,
you don't know what to make of it. Let's move on from this abysmal Manchester United display. We needed Adil so he could go on his run, but obviously he's hiding. But hey, let's move on. Let's move on to Anfield, Liverpool. I mean, what a thriller, right? 4-3 at the end. Some absolute beauties. I mean,
goal of bangers.
Wait. Trent didn't score a cracker, by the way. It was an own goal. He got taken away. So the first goal for Trent, the free kick, it's actually gone down as a Bandano on goal. Yeah. It hits the back of his.
I know, but come on, man.
Great. I mean,
it was just literally what you could say it was just a few inches off being his goal, then, isn't it?
That's what it is. Right?
Fair enough. But he did win us the game.
Yeah, what a game! What is it? Who won in front first? Pool went first.
He went up.
They came back.
Went up eventually.
And then obviously you guys go 2-1. They come back. They go 3-2, and then you guys come back 3-all, 4-3. I mean, it only happens in Anfield. This stuff, it always seems to happen in Anfield. And
because it's Anfield, I had faith we would still get the result. That was literally it. Because it's Anfield, even when we went down, I was still confident we'll get a result. But to get the win in the way that we did, it was electric. It was just electric.
What did you make of it? I mean, conceding 3 goals at home must be concerning for you.
It was just lousy defending. You know what? It just reminded me of Klopp's first and second season, where we were going in, banging in goals, but every time the ball went behind us, it's almost like they were going to score. It was just one of those games where they looked threatening every time they got near our box, and we did not defend well, even as a unit, like midfield to defense. Like the tracking wasn't there, the players even marking, and just some of the fight just wasn't there today. It kind of took us going down for us to kind of wake up and just.
So do you know? I think there was a massive blunder, but he kind of adjusted it, Klopp as well. So I think the biggest mistake, it was 2-all, but Liverpool were dominating, looking like the better side. But then he takes off Szoboszlai and who was the other guy? McAllister to bring on Gomez and Gapco. and he went for a 4-2-4. But what it did was he unbalanced the midfield because obviously he pushed Trent in there. But because of the way Gakpo and Gravenberch play, where they push up so much, there was too much gap in the middle. So Paulinho and stuff were able to play past that press very easily to get the dominance back. And obviously Fulham started playing better, and they go and take the lead to go 3-2. Then what Klopp did was bring on Endo, and then they went back to a two base with Trent and Endo. But what it did was any of those second balls, it wasn't easy for Fulham to go out because Endo was in there to win that ball back. So you got that dominance back, and obviously Endo with a great finish, and the rest is.
I agree to that extent, because I think when you lose the players of the quality of McAllister and Szoboszlai, who are so good in that midfield and not just winning the ball back but playing the ball around, you are going to lose that dominance. But I could see the thinking behind what Klopp was doing, because that game needed someone like the Gakpo to come in, hold the ball, play off other players. But I think, yeah, you're right. I think we lost that dominance in midfield, and I think that's
I get what you're saying, but that's fine. But you still need a base so for him to play around, because what it happens is then you're just like have five. As soon as they beat the first man press, everything's open, and that's why if you saw they had so many moments where it was 4 against 4 or whatever, loads of opportunities for them because there wasn't that protection. As soon as obviously Endo was back in, then you had Trent and him. So whenever the second ball was landing anywhere, you had two players in places to win that second ball.
Yeah.
So it didn't allow Fulham to get any momentum or build anything because the second ball was won back straight away. So you could have kept the momentum up again. So I think yeah, he did mess up with tactically, but then he obviously helped himself back with getting Endo on. And I mean, obviously,
I think obviously with those players on, we were still going down. There was moments in the game where we were losing that midfield battle. It felt like there was a lot of times where they were just more physical and stronger than us. But I think the European football is probably getting to a lot of the teams now, and I think that's what's happening, because we looked legged. You know, we just did not look switched on a lot of that game. So. Yeah,
Callagher wasn't very impressive in goal as well. He looked very rashed.
He
saved both of the first two goals.
He's a good shot stopper. He's not Alisson. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain goals that go in where you think Alisson would have saved that. That's all it is, and it's one of those where this is why he's our backup keeper. I think he'd be fine for any of the mid-table clubs. I think you would see that he's a really good goalkeeper. Like, we as Liverpool fans, we want him as a backup goalkeeper. We wouldn't want someone else to come in like they look like, because Adrian compared to him is a level down. But yeah, you can see when you miss out on Alisson, then the drop off between that level of quality is quite drastic.
Massive. Yeah. I mean, hindsight's a great thing, right? Imagine that game was a draw or something, you would have been below Man City because of obviously Man City's result. But look at it now. 1 point ahead of City, second on table, potentially setting up a 1-2 game for Arsenal versus Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah, who knows what will happen there?
They're doing it for the show, glitz and the glams,
But I'm liking the way the season's shaping up now, because I think we've had too many seasons where it's been like between two teams, but then City always win it. I think now it's getting a bit more exciting. I think there's more teams now starting to come up, show a bit more fight, and hopefully we can start seeing a trail end to City's dominance and start to see other teams push through that.
Well, I mean, Aston Villa need to do everybody, Arsenal and Liverpool, a big favour on Wednesday night by either drawing or beating Man City. That'll be great. But before, let's move to Arsenal. I mean, what did you make of them? 2-1 win. Kind of left it a bit shaky towards the end, but yeah.
I mean, Wolves are a good side, but I think when you look at the way Arsenal dealt with it, because if you compare that performance to how City performed against Wolves, Arsenal did really well, in my opinion. They did really well. I think most of the game, bar small little moments, even when they got the goal, I think Arsenal were just similar to Newcastle, were the dominant side. They looked the stronger side. They looked in control of the ball. I think, if anything, Arsenal made their own mistake and suffered from it.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. I mean, Zinchenko, I mean, like, this guy, I don't, do you know how annoyed I feel? The fact that I even have to give this guy any time on this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
It's painful in itself, you know. But yeah, I mean, in the first half, he almost gave a goal away. In the second half, before I think before or after, I can't forget the time. Again, he gave the ball away and they won a counter, but Martinelli luckily got back. And then obviously he does that blunder again where he gets nicked off and Cunha goes and scores. We're just causing our own problem. That's what it feels like, because there was no reason. Just clear the ball because we're fully under control. We dominate.
He felt like he could pass it out there.
Chances, and then he causes our own issues.
Yeah, I think he felt like he could pass it out there where it's just a simple clearance. Be safe. You know, sometimes you don't need. I know it probably is a game.
That kicking out. Go back to old school days, man. If in that, kick out, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think what it is, sometimes players might be under the impression that this is what the managers asked me to do too much in their head, and it's almost they let the instinct of football get away from them, because in that situation, football, especially in the Premier League, is quick. That small little extra second he tried to take a touch to pass it out. If he cleared that first time, you're not looking at a goal conceded. You know, it's a clean sheet. And it's like you said earlier, he was making mistakes. And it's one of those things with Zinchenko. He is really good with the ball at his feet. He's really good coming in inverted.
Awful. Without the ball.
But yeah, I think positionally and sometimes just that decision making, it lets him down. And I mean, I don't think this is the first time that he makes these blunders. Sometimes it doesn't lead to goals, but it does. This is the
thing. This is the thing, right? Because we used to have the problem last year with him, and obviously with what's his name, Ramsdale, where Ramsdale used to give other team or opposition hopes because of silly little passes that he used to do or hold on to the ball for two. And that's the calmness, I guess, or what Arteta's looking from with Raya. And the difference that he makes. And the only one that's remaining of that ilk is Zinchenko. We need to get rid of him. Timber needs to come back. He's already in rehabilitation, so good sign.
Might take some more time though. Yeah.
No. His predicted timeline is like end of February. So it's still basically
still wow.
Walking and stuff. So it's good progress. But I can't stand Zinchenko. He needs to get out of the club. I don't want to get any more feisty with him. I hate this guy.
It is hard because obviously as a fan you want to see all your players perform,
if I could do anything to sell him, I would sell him. Can't stand him.
I just feel like he did let you guys down. That's all it is. It wasn't just him. Obviously there was other mistakes in the game, but that mistake is what conceded the goal. And then I don't know. A lot of the chances Wolves got, I think, just from Arsenal's mistakes, not more from them being powerful and outplaying you guys.
But I mean, they were quite hampered with obviously missing their both centre mids, because obviously I think they both got yellow card in the last game, etc. So that kind of did hamper them. But yeah, credit to them, they fought back. You know,
they're a good side though. They are a good side. They're a strong side.
Gary O'Neill got them really playing well, tactically very good. So
you didn't think that at the start of the season, though, did you?
No, but see, we kind of mentioned it. So the problem was with regards to goals, right? Can they get enough goals?
Yeah.
Because if you look at how they were even last season, the problem was with getting goals. Because even under Lopetegui, they were playing decent enough football, but the problem was there wasn't enough clinical strikers. Even this season, if you look at it, I can't. The Korean guy, he's bailing them out, but that's been the main problem is getting goals. So that's why anyone in the Premier League, if you can't score, you're always going to be in trouble.
Fair enough. But I think they've been better this season. Even like distributing goals amongst the top front three, they've been a lot better.
Definitely, 100% agreed. Let's move on before we wrap up. A quick one. Chelsea, good win against Brighton.
Powerful win, you would say.
Considering the fact that 10 men.
Yeah, but they needed a statement win, didn't they? Because Brighton's no easy team.
No.
Especially if you're down the man, you know, Brighton can make you suffer. So well done, Chelsea. You know, they managed to pull through. I don't know. I feel like the card was a bit harsh.
Do you? I think both were justified.
I don't know. I felt like it was a typical midfield battle. It was a kind of a typical tackle that you find.
No,
I
but
think it was.
the reason why is because he's in a counter, right? So you're gone when you're in a counter.
Yeah, but I don't know how much force
See, that one's more blatant than the one. Who was it? That player that got. I think it was a Liverpool player that got red carded for second yellow. Was it Liverpool or someone?
Which
Someone
game?
I can't. Huh?
We've got loads of red this season. Which one?
Yeah. Okay. Too many. Jota. Sorry. The Jota one. You know, the first tackle.
Oh right, yeah. Well, the first one was never yellow though. That's why.
This is more of a solid case than that one. You can say so.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I think definitely warrants a second.
Yeah, you couldn't argue it. I just didn't think it was. I just thought it was a bit soft because I think it was a typical kind of midfield battle, kind of tackle you expect to find in midfield, and it wasn't. It wasn't like he took the player out. It was clean.
But nowadays, if you stop a counter, you're game booked. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I just
Enzo finally gets 2 goals. You know, finally gets another win under
header and a pen. You wouldn't expect him to score a header.
Yeah, you know what? That was surprising, isn't it? And Colwell gets a goal against his former loan club. So he started celebrating and then realized, oops, it's against.
Oh yeah, maybe not. They put me on.
But I mean, it sets up great for the. Obviously, we got games weekday this week against Manchester United. So Man United at home against Chelsea, so it'll be a good game to look forward to.
I don't think Chelsea will be frightened by that game, though. I think they'll go in with it with the same intent.
Yeah. I think against the bigger teams, the better teams, to keep the ball and stuff, they play better. That suits it. And obviously Arsenal coming down to Luton. You know, I might pop down and say hello to Odegaard and co. But yeah,
I wonder what top you'll be wearing on that day.
Huh?
What top are you wearing? Half and half.
Half and half. I'm getting my missus to stitch it up right now.
Stitch it up now.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. Listen, whatever the result, I'll be happy. That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Maybe you'll be happier with Arsenal.
Yeah. Maybe for this game, Luton can do us a favor, eh? But on that note, we'll probably try doing something for the weekday games. We'll try doing one of the shows. Hopefully, Adil will be back. We can get all 3 of us on. But yeah, Cam, thank you for today. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Still going.